Hi everyone, it's Mariah. Welcome to my channel. Today I'll be talking about 10 tips that I would share for somebody who wants to grow long and healthy locks. I've been growing my locks for 8 years now. This is my hair after about a 10-inch cut. I cut 10 inches off about a year or so ago. And you can see they're long and healthy. You know, been in this game for 8 years. Got some lessons to share. Wrote them all down here, so stay tuned to hear 10 tips to help you on your journey. Tip number 1, don't over retwist. I would say I retwist about once every month and a half right now, and that's perfect for me. You don't want to over retwist because that can lead to a lot of tightness and thinning of your locks. And I know for me at the beginning of my lock journey, I was obsessed with having my hair super flat and laid, and it's honestly really not worth the stress that it puts on your hair. So early on, I was retwisting once every 2 weeks, which is crazy to think about now. Stretch it out a little bit. This goes into my second tip, which is don't be afraid to not have a retwist. Okay, don't over retwist. Don't be afraid not to have a retwist. I feel like I had to learn this again through trial and error, but there are so many styles that you can do without a retwist. You can braid your hair, have it curly, you can slick it back into a bun. You can do a lot of different styles without having a retwist. And actually some styles I think look better without a retwist. So don't be afraid to experiment with styles outside of your typical retwist. Another don't, I would say, is don't overdo rubber bands. Don't overdo rubber bands. This is actually the reason why I had to cut about 10 inches of my hair off, because I was obsessed with lock bobs. I was getting a bob back to back to back to back. Like every retwist I was getting, it was a lock bob style. And while that was great if your hair is longer, like to keep it off of your shoulders in the summer, for your hair itself, that rubber can really eat at the strength of your locks and just make it weak. So I would definitely say don't do too much with the rubber bands. And I'd also say if you do get a rubber band, be sure to not keep it in your hair too long. So when I have rubber bands in now, it's like max a week that I'll keep it in. I'd really say be careful with how often you get the rubber bands and how long you keep them in, because that can mess you up. Learn from experience. Next is do use natural products. So what do I mean by this? I mean that you should be looking at the product labels, the ingredients in every product that you put in your hair. And kind of like food, make sure it's ingredients that you know and that you can read. I would also stay away from some products that have been known to kind of clump up in locks, that being shea butter, sometimes coconut oil. Things that tend to be solid at room temperature can really lead to some buildup, which is a nightmare to deal with sometimes. I tend to make my own products. So I do a rosemary hair rinse when I shampoo my hair. I make my own sprays with essential oils that my hair likes, my scalp likes. I make my own leave-in oils, which is a blend of different oils with essential oils. Me making my own products just gives me so much more confidence in what I'm putting in my hair. And it also shows me from experience, okay, my hair likes this, but it doesn't like that. So I can curate it better later on. Next, you all probably already know this, but it's use a bonnet. You all know this. You probably grew up using bonnets, knowing that you should be using a bonnet when you go to sleep. But I'd also say when you're just laying on your bed, when you're laying on the couch, be sure to cover up your hair because it's so easy to get lint inside of your hair and it's hard to get it out. So it's pretty easy, just pop it on, keep the fuzz, keep the frizz away, but definitely use a bonnet as much as you can. My next lock tip is don't be afraid to trim. Maybe this is a little bit easier for me because I've been doing my hair for like 10 years. Like I've been doing my hair for a really long time. But I love trimming my hair. I feel like I notice such a difference in my hair when I trim off those loose ends, those weak ends. And it's the same with locks. So the same as when my hair was natural, I trim off dead ends. You can notice when you have dead ends with locks. Like you can notice the ends of your hair that feels a little bit weaker, that's kind of hanging on by a thread. Just go ahead and snip that off. Your hair will thank you. The growth, it'll grow back. And yeah, that's been big for me, is just not to let the damage get so far up. Just snip it off when you can and just let it rock. My next tip is to do experiment and have fun with your locks. There's so many different styles that you can do. A lot of people have this fear when they're thinking about getting locks that you're limited to one style for the rest of your life or the rest of the time you have locks, but that's really not true. There's so many different styles that you can do. I feel like it's always growing. Every day I see something new, like, wow, I want to try that. Wow, I want to try that. So if you feel like you're in a rut, you feel like you might want to cut your hair, just do something drastic, just try a different lock style. Like for me, I'm about to try lock petals probably today. And yeah, that'll be my new style for the foreseeable future. So do experiment, do have fun. My next one is don't stress over growth. This one was huge for me when I first started my lock journey. I remember like I would take a video every week, it felt like every 2 weeks, just to see, is my hair growing? Is my hair growing? Your hair will grow as it needs to grow. It'll take the time that it takes. I would not compare my lock journey to anyone else's. And honestly, if I could, it's easier than it sounds like, but I would just try to forget about growth and just focus on the health of my hair, knowing that the growth will come when it needs to come, and I can't control that too much. Okay, so my next do is to make sure you wash your hair every 2 to 3 weeks. A healthy scalp is so important for healthy hair growth, and just cleanliness in general. Even though I will retwist my hair once every month and a half, I make sure that my scalp is clean, is moisturized, is healthy, especially since I work out and I lift and I sweat a lot. It's important to make sure like you're cleansing off any like dirt or just making sure your scalp is clean and healthy. It feels refreshing. I love like giving my hair water. And after I wash my hair just feels like lighter and bouncier, and I notice a difference. I feel like that's another myth about having locks, is that you don't wash your hair. It's just complete neglect. You don't do anything to it. Very important to make sure you're washing your hair, moisturizing it, and it's okay to do it frequently as you need. My last tip for growing long, healthy locks is personal, but I've heard some other people say, and I agree, is don't let everybody touch your hair. I am so particular about who I let touch my hair. I'm very protective over my hair. Maybe it's spiritual. I feel like it's my crown. It's my, there's a lot of energy up here, but I just hate when people I don't know touch my hair. Like, I don't know what they're putting on me. Like, yes. This may not apply to everybody, but I feel like I let very few people touch my hair. And the people I let touch my hair know what they're doing with my hair. They're respectful of my hair. Yeah, this is a big lock tip. And I can't explain why it's a lock tip, but it's a lock tip for me. Don't let everybody touch your hair. Don't let everybody play in your hair. Don't let anybody play in your hair. So I hope you guys found these lock tips beneficial. Let me know if there is one that resonated with you the most in the comments below. And yeah, keep watching, subscribe to see my lock journey continue. Year 8 coming up on year 9, getting bigger and better. Yeah, thank you all so much. I need a sip of tea. How you having?